I'm Bryce Dallas Howard from Blue World. Beware the grass tiger.
Take a knee, cadet. We're doing Lady in the Water, The Happening, and After Earth. And if we are to survive this, then you must realize that fear is not real.
At last we will have revenge.
Lady in the Water. Lady in the Water.
Who else saw Lady in the Water? You didn't. You? No?
I read the Wikipedia synopsis.
Oh, I've seen Lady in the Water.
Who in the world are you?
My God, you have an animal size.
I don't know who you are, but you did something to my thoughts.
Where are you from?
The blue world.
Sam,
Yes.
I'm gonna need you to give up your seat to Stephen Hildreth.
Thank
Stephen
God.
Hildreth,
Stephen
everybody.
Hildreth.
Can I leave?
No. Stephen Hildreth, everybody. Did you know that Paul Giamatti's character is Cleveland Heap?
The dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
A handful of their precious young ones have been sent into the world of man. They are brought in the dead of night to where man lives. They need only be glimpsed.
Tell me about the Scrunts.
The Scrunts?
Yeah, tell me about the Tawadjafors.
And I know it starts out with an opening narration. It's got something to do with grass fairy tales.
Right, Guardians.
Spirits,
yeah,
star
scribes.
constellations. So I know that there's some kind of mermaid creature that comes out of the pool, and it's either been ejected from this other world, or it's come to warn our world or something.
The Blue
like that.
World. We all know about the Blue World, Charlie.
And I know that there was a grass tiger. There was like a fairy.
The Scrunt.
It's a Scrunt?
It's a Scrunt.
Well, I like grass tiger.
It's a Scrunt.
It's a grass tiger.
Steven, tell me about the Scrunt.
Those things look stupid, and there was only one of them, which
Yeah.
made no damn... Like, if there were 5 of those things, then
No. There's one.
No, I'm saying if there were 5 of those
Singular
things.
Scrunt.
I get that, but
Not Scruntin.
that movie in general, like I said, I fell asleep during it, and I was really hungover that day, but that's really neither here nor there. It was just a really boring, dull, drab movie, and the biggest, like, kick you in the crotch, spit on your neck, fantastic part of that film was when he cast himself as, like, this oracle of, like, he was gonna write something, right? He was a writer, and he was gonna write something that would influence a president.
Oh,
Heap.
really?
Heap.
I don't remember that.
Paul
part.
Giamatti's character, Heap.
Not Jeep.
Cleveland Heap.
Heap discovers
Not
the
Memphis
author, Vic Rand, M Night Shyamalan, who is writing The Cookbook, containing views and ideas so significant they will inspire a future president, a great Midwestern orator, to greatly change the world for the better. Rand, meeting Story, Bryce Dallas Howard, eliminates his fear and sharpens his inner voice, but he learns he will be assassinated because of the controversial nature of his ideas.
Oh my God, that's total, like...
That's Lady in the
amazing.
Water.
No, that's like real life, where, like, Shyamalan just started making shitty movies, and he was character assassinated for it, but he really influenced Obama.
Speaking of ham-fisted movies, Lady in the Water.
I thought that was the Harrison Ford movie.
What?
Harrison Ford movie?
What Lies Beneath?
No.
That one also has a lot of water in it.
And Ashley Judd's in that one too, right? Lady in the Water was like the nail in the coffin for me as far as Shyamalan goes. Like, it was just like, I'm
I
done.
understand that.
There's no God, fuck it. That Unbreakable is the only one that I like. I totally ruined The Sixth Sense for somebody in my freshman English class.
Sam, tag back in.
What Steven just said about Lady in the Water is exactly what The Village was for me. Before that, I'd seen every real M. Night Shyamalan movie. And when I saw The Village, I was like, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm never watching another one again. And not like I said I wasn't going to, but it was just like after that, I was never interested in it again. Every single one that came out just seemed stupider and stupider until I just, yeah, there was no point. No point.
Speaking of points, M Night Shyamalan was highly criticized for being like a megalomaniac after he made this.
I basically said I'm willing to break any rule, anything that makes the movie safe and says, okay, the good guy does this, and this is what happens at this part in the movie, and you know, audiences need this kind of thing at this point. I was willing to throw all that out and just do whatever the imagination wanted, kind of free form, and see if faith in storytelling can bring this to a conclusion in a way that would be thrilling. You know, when they do that kind of thing at some film festival and they show, you know, clips from all my movies, I want to be, you know, proud, chin up, and staring at it and going, yeah.
He made himself the writer that would change the fucking world in this. Bob Balaban plays the critic.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the critic, but...
So let me set this up for you.
Okay. Set it up.
Bob Balaban moves into this apartment building.
Bobby!
Paul Giamatti's like, you know, tries to meet him or whatever, and he's just like a huge pretentious dick, Bob Balaban, the film critic. So he hears about, Paul Giamatti hears about this, you know, fairy tale after the story. The mermaid lady washes up out of the pool. And she tells him about this story about, well, in order to get home, I have to have a guardian that gets me there, and a healer, and this harem of bitches or something. I don't remember what the fuck it is. But like, so he needs to find all these people. And they're supposedly in this apartment complex. And he's like, who am I going to go to figure out who all these people are? And then someone's like, well, who knows the most about, like, story structure and how things? He's like, there's a critic that just moved in. So they go to Bob Balaban, or he does. And he's like, so, like, who would be, like, this, like, kind of generically in a story, who would be, like, a guardian? And he's like, well, it would be this heroic type that does this and that. He gets all these people. They formulate this plan. And then it fails. And everybody's like, why did it fail? And the one's like, well, I thought I was the code breaker dude, but I guess I'm not the code breaker dude. And it's like, who told you we were the right people you were supposed to go to? Who is so egotistical, so sure of themselves that they know everything about this stuff? And then it just cuts to Bob Balaban like walking around, and it's just like, what a fucking dick. Like I have never seen such a hit job against somebody's like critics that it's just so obvious that it's like, fuck you guys for saying that I'm a piece of shit and all this stuff. And it's like,
it's because I got super lazy in the last 3 movies I made. And it's your job to point that out.
The characters got killed because of the choices he made, right?
No. The only character that gets killed in this is the critic.
Yeah.
And the only reason the critic dies is because he stands there and he's looking at the scrunt.
Well, you're not a dog at all. My God. This is like a moment from a horror movie.
Yeah. If I try to turn and run, it's just gonna take, I'll almost get to the door.
In stories where there has been no prior cursing, nudity, killing, or death, such as in a family film, the unlikable character will narrowly escape his encounter and be referenced again later in the story, having learned valuable lessons. He may even be given a humorous moment to allow the audience to feel good about it.
Like a Scooby-Doo episode.
Right. And he's sitting there saying all this as the camera's like moving in on him. He's like, so I'll run to the door and I'll shut it just in time before the monster gets to me because I can't die. I'm the guy that nobody likes, and I have to redeem myself at the last part of the movie and have something funny to say at the end. He says all of this, and he's sure of himself, turns around, and is immediately murdered by this thing.
And then the tiger kills him.
Kills him immediately, just takes him down from the back. He's the only person that dies in this movie. Fuck M. Night Shyamalan for not having any sort of, like, sense of humor about anything.
He was on the Howard Stern Show a lot in the mid-2000s, and he was a really good guest. But in that particular interview, I remember him going on, and I talked to you about it a little bit too, about how he went to Touchstone, who'd put out his last 4 movies. He'd made them $2 billion or whatever, like you said.
Yeah.
And he was like, "This is the script," and they were like, that needs some serious reworking. You should do some work on that. And he's like, no, this is the script. I made so much money for you guys.
And he even admitted that it wasn't a finished script when he gave it to him. And Howard Stern's like, well, shouldn't you have made a finished script before you gave it to me? He's like, well, yeah.
I can't tell you anything about who I am and this world. You're just gonna have to guess. Every one of you is gonna have to guess about how this works.
What's going on? You can't just leave us here.
Sir, we lost contact.
With whom?
Everyone.
The first stage is loss of speech.
Claire. Claire?
The second stage is physical disorientation. The third stage is fatal.
Tell me about the happening bit.
There is a situation, a happening that's going on.
This is my happening, baby, and it freaks me out.
And no one knows exactly what it is and how the people react. And as the movie goes on, you slowly realize that people just go crazy, and they just kind of act stupidly until they die. And that's what happens. It's kind of like...
I think it's still from Serenity.
No, I think there's a Romero movie that's not a zombie movie called The Crazies. Yeah. And it's sort of like that, but it's like eventually you go on and you figure out that it's plants, that plants have started rebelling, and they're
Mother Nature, like
they're releasing toxins that will make people do crazy things, and so it's post-apocalyptic. And Mark Wahlberg is stuck, and he has this group of people, and at one point they have to run from the wind, which is really funny. And then, and in the end, the power of love, they have a mood ring, and because he knows that she loves him, they have the strength to go out and walk through a field, and then somehow that means that they live. And
no, like the crisis quit right as they walked out the door.
Right.
That was in the newsreel afterwards, like 2 minutes before they walked
Mother
out.
Nature, God, decided that it was over.
Yeah.
Just like the flood of the earth. Knight was inspired by reading Albert Einstein's biography for The Happening and discovering Einstein had rejected religion at first until eventually he saw the hand of God in the gaps between scientific explanations. That is his reasoning to why The Happening makes sense.
Yeah, I don't understand. I didn't pick up on the faith thing. What is the hand of God in between the gaps?
Hand of God in between the gaps of science, where science doesn't.
The science teacher just gets
where science doesn't make any sense, which is
make any sense to him?
Right, right. So Charlie, explain to us the bees.
The bees
in the beginning. In the beginning of the fucking Happening, he's talking to his science class, and he's trying to say, "Why do you think all the bees are dying?" And everybody's like, well, there's, I don't know this. And he's like, well, maybe. And then there's like this, like pretty boy in the front row, whatever.
Yeah,
he's
I remember the pretty
he's
boy,
just like looking away, like not paying attention. And he's like, Sam, why don't you give us a suggestion to why you think the bees are dying? And he's like, I don't know. And then Mark Wahlberg goes on this long scientific explanation.
Well, doesn't he say something though? He says. He doesn't say, I don't know, does he?
Yeah, no. He goes, I don't know. And then Mark Wahlberg goes, well, you know, your nose is going to grow like a quarter of an inch a year or something until it's like massive. So it's like people that look pretty right now are going to look like shit when they get older. And he's like, ugh. He's like, see what science does or something? And he's like, so do you have like another answer or something? And the guy's like, I don't know, sometimes we just don't know why things happen. Nature just does what it's going to do. And Mark Wahlberg goes, exactly. He's a fucking science teacher!
They're dying!
I need a second. They released it? We're not near the road.
We can't just stand here as uninvolved observers!
I
I need a second, okay? Just give me a second. We're not gonna be one of those assholes on the news who watches a crime happen and not do something. We're not assholes. Just a second. There were children in that room. Elliot, please tell us what to do. I need a second, okay? Why can't anybody give me a goddamn second?
John Leguizamo.
Guizamo?
John Leguizamo.
You mean Luigi?
Do you remember? Do you remember the part?
You mean the clown from
Do you remember the part where he bequeaths his child to Zooey Deschanel and Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, that was
just
random
before
and
he gets out of the
irresponsible.
Jeep.
Huh?
Just before he gets out of his Jeep.
No, he's trying to get into those random people's Jeep to go find his wife that's in the other city. Do you remember what he says to Zooey Deschanel?
No.
He goes, show him here. Don't take her hand unless you mean it.
The old lady is definitely the apex of the film.
Oh
with
God,
Mark
yes.
Wahlberg and just like
finally, I was so glad when they got there because she was definitely
when he's like looking at her at the doll on the bed. What did she say to him then? Like, you're trying to steal my things or something like that. You're trying to
because he comes in to try to find her or something, and he's just like, is that like he goes to her bed because he thinks that's her laying in her bed. And then he like pulls it back and it's a doll, and he's like, what? And then she walks in the room. She's like, "You try to steal my things? Get out!"
Plan on murdering me in my sleep.
What? No.
And so the happening fades out.
Jaden Pinkett Smith.
But that's a cool concept, you know, post-Earth, like the Voyager craft at the end of the first Star Trek movie.
There have been other movies that have done this, and it's like, who gives a shit?
But not with like HD and
or the father and son.
Real father-son in West Philadelphia.
What is the plot of After Earth? Like, what happens?
It's all about. It all boils down to one simple phrase.
There's no wants to be initiated into the fighter group,
Rangers.
The Rangers. But
which are these like kind of like military elite
space cops
people that go about. We've been kicked out from Earth from these aliens that release these basically like dog things that are like big giant arachnid crazy things that just murder humans. And so we got kicked out of Earth, basically found another planet, lived there.
But the new planet that we live on, that the human race lives on, kind of sucks.
So they're trying to colonize other planets and stuff, and they're trying to figure it out or whatever. So they have the Ranger people that are there to like kind of combat the alien dudes.
The Rangers have a unique ability called ghosting.
Ghosting is where you have no fear.
Become Vulcans.
You have no fear. That's all it is. You have no fear, and these dog arachnid things can't, for some reason, see you unless you have fear. Yeah. This is the stupidest evolutionary progression to not have any sort of way to like sense things other than fear.
That's how dogs
like you can't see a rock.
Now do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real. But fear is a choice.
I just want to ask, is there a Scientology metaphor in it?
I don't know. No, does it feel like it?
I don't think so.
It's written by Will Smith, though, isn't it?
Huh?
Yeah.
Isn't it written by Will Smith?
It's co-written by Will Smith.
Yeah, there's not like any
because that would be a great
past
progression
aliens that are
for some Thetans.
Well, you know, there's a lot of science in the movie that doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, no. Yeah,
I mean, it's funny though. I mean, it says at the beginning that we haven't been gone off of Earth for very long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet nobody knows what Earth is.
Nobody remembers it.
Nobody remembers it. They crash land on it, and then
he has to reveal to his son. Wait, so there's not really a twist in that.
Well, the twist is in
that
the end of the first act.
It's not really a twist. He's just like, this is Earth. And his son's like, okay. And that's like in the first 20 minutes of the movie.
But it doesn't mean anything to his son because he wasn't born on Earth and nobody remembers it.
And he's a kid.
Right. So it just doesn't matter. And he's like, well, and the other dumb thing that's said is that everything on this planet has been bred to kill humans.
He says evolved.
Evolved to kill humans. People have only been gone for about 500 years maybe or something like that.
I think it's less than that.
Not long enough for things to evolve.
I mean, I seriously think it's less than that.
He has no concept of how evolution works. So Jaden Smith,
his suit turns red when he's angry.
And it also turns white when there's snow.
When he's
oh wait, it just has snow on it.
And when he's without fear.
Yeah, when he's without fear, it turns white. So that was confusing.
There's actually not a lot of logic to when the thing turns colors.
No, not really. And also, anyway, just to kind of wrap up After Earth, Jaden Smith is a terrible actor in the movie, and I can't say it's because of his own fault.
No,
it's because
I don't think it is.
It's because he literally has nothing to play off of.
Well, he's just watching. He's in a green room.
He's in a green room most of the time. Will Smith, he's been instructed, don't have any emotion, because that's what ghosting is don't have any emotion, don't have any fear. And so, like, his whole performance is just straight, and he has nothing behind anything that he's doing.
That's like everybody in the movie almost.
And then Jaden Smith tries to do that too, but he's whiny about it too. And so,
and he's
like,
not an actor.
Right.
He's
trying his hardest. Like when he tried to save those eagles in that nest. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it with y'all. Yeah, the eagles.
Yeah, he tries to save these little birds in this nest that tried to murder him earlier, because these like jaguar things come up, and he's like, looks like he's gonna try to save them, and he really doesn't. He just lets them.
He makes it worse.
Yeah, he makes it worse. They all get murdered, and
you feel
you feel worse for that mother bird than you do for any of the people in the movie. You don't care.
He eventually dies saving him.
Saving him. For some reason.
It
comes back to save him. I guess because it has nothing else in this world. And so it comes back to save him from freezing to death at night.
But Chad, didn't every being on planet Earth evolve
to murder
specifically to murder humans for the past thousands of years?
Unless it poorly attempts to save its young.
Yes. The whole thing's predicated on he has to get across the other side of the planet where the other homing beacon fell because the ship broke in half. That's the only reason the movie exists.
No, it's like 100 miles.
Stupid journey. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It could be on the other side of the Earth. It's all,
another
made up science. It doesn't matter. He overcomes his fear and murders the giant dog thing.
Beats his dad,
right?
They signal the beacon
dad finally, or whatever.
Yeah,
they do the beacon thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And now he's just producing movies.
And then it's over.
Parents just don't understand.
I miss your faces. They remind me of God.